What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Ango Show. We are here on YouTube, and today we're discussing some very big news across WWE and AEW, because now we know some former WWE stars have debuted on AEW. Also, we're going to be discussing some backstage morale stuff with WWE. Obviously, a lot of fans are wondering what's happening. You know, Vince McMahon is back. The Royal Rumble was a success. What is the morale like? We're going to talk about all of that. And then, of course, we got to talk about Cody Rhodes, because today he has the wrestling fans talking. If you guys want more videos like this, you already know what to do. Click that subscribe button. Let's talk about the Royal Rumble first. A lot of fans I personally saw on Twitter mostly spoke highly of the Royal Rumble. In Discord, most fans spoke pretty highly of the Royal Rumble. Of course, you're going to have the people that are negative about it. I was kind of 50-50. There was things I liked about the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. There was things I didn't like about the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. I definitely didn't see it as the strongest pay-per-view that Triple H has provided as head of creative, but nonetheless, it was a pretty solid pay-per-view minus a couple things. And those things were somewhat big as well. And if you guys missed my live stream on it, then make sure you don't miss my live streams going forward. But PWInsider.com has reported that WWE is extremely happy with the performance of the Royal Rumble event over the weekend, and they are extremely thrilled with the event's viewership on Peacock. Also, WrestleVotes had tweeted on Twitter that they asked for some thoughts after last night's Royal Rumble. The source told them that they are happy with how both Rumble matches turned out. Gunther's performance in particular, along with Logan Paul and Ricochet's spot, was better than ever imagined, and Bloodline Angle obviously stole the show as expected, which is exactly why it went last on the pay-per-view. So look, WWE is obviously happy with the Royal Rumble. For the most part, people seem to be pretty happy about it. The good news is it's also being said that the backstage morale has been really good in comparison to the years before. Obviously, 2022's Royal Rumble was like miserable. There was a lot of drama surrounding Shane McMahon and Vince McMahon backstage. So when something like this gets brought up, it is good to see that Triple H has definitely turned the morale around. Especially with Vince McMahon, you know, now being back in the company. A lot of people have been concerned about that. Triple H is still very well head of creative. The backstage morale is still, you know, people are, of course, you're going to have people who are a little bit skeptical of what's going to happen with Vince and the sale of the company and stuff like that. But for the most part, the fact is Triple H has definitely turned around the backstage atmosphere. People are excited to work for him. If you've watched any of the media interviews that went through this past weekend, I know Mia Yim had specifically talked about how, you know, Triple H is a really big influence backstage and a really good person to have backstage. And, you know, it's just a very good vibe this time around. Which is huge, man. WWE, you know, and this is not a WWE versus AEW thing. We really do want the best for wrestling companies. At least I do. I'm not going to speak for any of the tribalist Twitter accounts, but me personally, I think it's important that both companies are successful. Both companies have happy employees. I think that's just such an important thing in general, regardless if it's wrestling or not. I can't imagine working for a company where I'm not happy working. And obviously with AEW providing really good television lately, WWE's providing really good television lately. The road to WrestleMania is here. I'm super excited about it, and I'm sure a lot of you are. So don't miss the videos on this channel, because it's really important that you're going to get, you know, all the news, all the rumors, the live reviews and analysis. But guys, we got to talk about the Winged Eagle belt. This is not the first time we've talked about it, but now Cody Rhodes is definitely sparking more and more speculation. Because in December, I don't know if you guys remember, but Wrestling News Co. actually exclusively reported about the plans for WWE to have 2 World Championship titles again. And this is something that we've talked about for several months, even before December. However, there was rumors several months ago that if Cody Rhodes were to in fact come back to WWE as a world champion, he would like to bring the Winged Eagle world title back. Now, this is one of my favorite championship belt designs. It's up there on the list. Cody Rhodes posted a photo of this on his Instagram story. On Monday Night Raw tonight, he is expected to challenge Roman Reigns for the championship belt, whether it's on night 1, night 2, whether it's for the WWE or Universal Championship, who really knows? My guess is he's going after the WWE Championship. I think that's what makes the most sense. If Cody Rhodes becomes victorious, I really hope that WWE does bring a modern version of this belt back. Obviously, it appears that WWE keeps teasing it. Cody Rhodes is teasing it. This has been something that's kind of been talked about a lot actually for the last year or so, but I think it's important that WWE does it. It's a big change, you know. Bloodline has been reigning supreme, and I love the storyline. It's the best storyline there, but the biggest flaw with that storyline has always been the fact that Roman Reigns is holding 2 championship belts. Now, with that being said, with Cody Rhodes, if he wins the championship, he brings this belt back. That is massive. Fans are going to love it. WWE is going to sell a whole bunch of these championship belts, the replicas, the toys, all that good stuff. So that is very exciting to me. Also, one last thing that I do want to point out, it's very, very important that we mention this. The idea that WWE is going to bring back the official original version of this title, I don't think is likely. I think they are going to modernize it just slightly. Maybe with the side plates or whatever it may be. But I do think this championship belt becoming part of the WWE programming again could be a really good idea. You want to take a bunch of influence from it, but you don't want to bring back a classic championship in 2023. In my opinion, I think it's better to make a newer version of it that looks even better and more fancier. That's just my opinion. Maybe you guys agree, disagree, but let me know in the comment section down below. Guys, we got to talk about AEW. AEW has some debuts from WWE. Very interesting stuff here. But first, just a quick reminder, if you want more wrestling news video, click that subscribe button, ring that bell. This way you don't miss videos ever. Bodie Hayward, you guys remember him, part of Chase University, part of NXT 2.0. A lot of people had high hopes for this guy. He was released by WWE. He's gone from the company. Now he is working AEW Dark television tapings, which is great. AEW has done this in the past where they've brought in NXT talent into the company that were released, and they have them working the tapings. This is a good way for Tony Khan, and I've always said this. This is a phenomenal way for Tony Khan to try out wrestlers and see if he sees a future there with the talent. We actually saw that with Parker Boudreaux. Now Parker Boudreaux, you know, he went from that to the Trustbusters to now he is working with the Mogul affiliates with Swerve Strickland. Really cool stuff happening there. So this is actually a really good strategy for Tony Khan. You're going to sign WWE guys who haven't had the most experience or the most TV time. You put them on AEW Dark, get a really good close-up look of them, decide whether or not you want to sign them. I think that's a really good idea. But also what's really cool is there was another debut, and that was EJ Nduka from MLW, known as Ezra Judge in the WWE. Now, what's really strange here is that there was rumors about a month ago or so, or even earlier this month, I talked about on the channel, that he was expected to sign with WWE. There was a ton of reports about him coming back to the WWE, and for whatever reason, we have not seen him in WWE. He was the MLW. He was in MLW. He did carry championship gold in MLW. And to be honest, this guy has a lot of potential, whether it's in AEW or WWE. He also worked the AEW Dark tapings, and this is really exciting because ultimately, man, you want to start bringing in people that, you know, obviously you got to bring in the big names, but the idea is WWE is bringing in talent that have no experience, have very little experience. They're grooming them to be successful through the NXT and the Performance Center. And then by bringing them to the main roster, there's opportunities to make them into stars. AEW doesn't necessarily have that, but if you're going to bring in relatively unknown people, which I think, you know, EJ Nduka is not really unknown, but obviously he wasn't on Raw or SmackDown or anything like that. You know, and MLW is not the biggest wrestling company, but by bringing these people in there, you get a good look at them, you see where you could fit them into your show, and then potentially sign them. And I think that is so massive for AEW. That is very exciting to me, and I want to know what you guys think in the comment section down below.